Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I am your host, Andre Jaho. Thank you for joining us for another edition of the Vote 2020. This is a special edition. We usually do this on Tuesdays, but we know that tonight was the vice presidential debate. All right, so we just want to talk about some issues that happened tonight. Let us know that you're in the comments. All right, we'll be possibly joined by Bryant on tonight, but we just want to talk about some issues that have happened on tonight in the vice presidential debate. All right, guys. So please let us know that you're in the comments. All right, guys. So we can, say what's up to you guys. All right, and then we are going to get started on this debate tonight. All right, guys. So we got some different topics that we want to talk about, different things that happened tonight. From talking about Breonna Taylor to talking about the Supreme Court. So many different things that happened on tonight, guys. So we definitely want to get into this show on tonight. Let us know you're in the comments. What did you guys think about the debate tonight? What did you think? I thought it went way better than the presidential debate, but I'm going to say that Mike Pence was very boring. Very, very, very boring to me. The fly on his head. Oh man, the fly on his head was that was something. But so we got some comments. Yes, hello, Brittany Moxley. How are you? She smells witchcraft. What do you mean by that? If you want to expound, I'd actually like to welcome you on the show if you'd like. If you want to come on this platform right now, Pastor Brittany, and we can have a conversation about how you feel. Then I would welcome you to come on the show. You say yes, and I'll send you a link, and you can come right on in. Okay. So she says, I saw Satanic Eastern Star, Freemasonry hand symbols from Harris. Yeah, why don't you come on the show? I would love for you to explain that to the viewers on tonight. So if you don't mind, if you're up for it, I'm just basically just giving an analysis of what happened on the debate tonight. So I would love for you to come on and explain that verbally. You're more than welcome. If you say yes, I will send you a link to your inbox or Messenger, and then you can just come right in, and then we can have a verbal discussion. Okay, not tonight, my brother. All right, no problem. I know we do have you scheduled for the Vote 2020 in about a couple weeks, so we'll hear from you then. All right, but yeah, the debates, it was a little boring. It was a little slower paced than the presidential debate. I really feel like the vice president, he really interrupted Kamala Harris a lot. He interrupted her. Sometimes she would give her that look. There were plenty of times that she gave him the look, and I don't know. It was weird. But thank God they got through it. All right. So we're gonna go through a couple of things. So there was an exchange about Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And the candidates they had opposing views on racial justice. Breonna Taylor still does not have justice. Some people might think that $12 million settlement is justice, but I'm gonna say no. All right. So we have some comments from Bryant. Bryant says, in response to Brittany, I was told by another Freemason that you can't even be a president or have any kind of power like this unless you are a part of the Freemason. So I'm not surprised at symbolisms. Okay. All right. There could be some truth to that. That's not something I'm really that I know about personally. But when I lived upstate New York, there was a Freemason, a person that I knew that was in the Freemason, and he tried to educate me a little bit on it. He was trying to get me to join. Um, it never really fell through because we moved, but it was something that I thought about, with the whole Freemasonry thing. But what else do you guys think about? So, oh yeah, so Pastor Brittany is going to respond to you. Yes, all presidents are usually 33rd degree Masons, and the females are Eastern Stars. Very few were not Freemasonry. So, does anybody know if Barack Obama was a Mason? Does anybody know that? Anybody have any facts? So we can definitely talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that on the Vote 2020 on this coming Tuesday. I want to keep these comments here and do some research on that about Freemasonry. Because it's good to know. It's something that's very, very good to know. All right, guys. So keep the comments coming. Keep the comments coming. So, like I said, Breonna Taylor, there has been no justice for Breonna Taylor. Especially, George Floyd still, so we still have to continue to, keep that family in our prayers and continue to fight. We have to continue to fight. Black Lives Matter and, different people, Al Sharpton, Attorney Benjamin Crump. These people are still out there continuing to fight, for justice. All right. So Brittany Markley said, yes, Obama is a Mason. Okay. Guess it's not something they really talk about often. But okay, he's a Mason. Let's do some fact checking, and I'm going to do some research on it, and then we can have a discussion about it. I'll even try to get someone that's a part of the Masons to come on this platform if they don't mind, and just talk to us. So Brittany Mockley says he has a habit of making his status known with his Freemasonry sign language as well. Okay, not something I'm familiar with. I don't really know what the sign language is, but I will research it for myself. All right, definitely. So when I'm watching these politicians, I can say, oh, that's what they were talking about, Yeah. So, I'll, definitely pay attention to that. All right. Because, we definitely got to, pay attention to that kind of stuff. So, all right. Let's see. All right. So we have some other things to talk about. So, we'll get to the fly in a minute. I'm trying to get Brian on so we can talk about that, poke fun because it's funny. Everybody's making fun of it. I can't wait to hear Jimmy Kimmel in them. So Pence accuses Harris of wanting to pack the Supreme Court, while Kamala says that the next president should fill the open seat. Obviously, that was definitely Ruth Bader Ginsburg's. That was her dying wish, that the next president or whoever wins would be the one to fill that seat. But obviously, they're trying to push it forward. So Brian says he has done the handshake with others, including Mitt Romney. Okay. And then Brittany says Freemasonry is a secret society, which is why they have sign language. Don't expect them to tell you the truth. Oh, gosh. So what about Trump? Is Trump in the Freemason? Does he, he got the power. Is Donald Trump have any allegiance with them? Just curious. Anybody know? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments if Donald Trump has any allegiance with the Freemasons, right? Because that would be very good to know. Yeah, I think that would be cool to know. So let's find that out. I'm trying to send you a link now, Brian, to come on in the show. All right. How do you guys feel about the debate? How do you feel, Brittany? How do you think it went? If I can't get you on, you can just comment, Brian, in the comments. But what do you guys think about the debate? How do you think it went? Do you think the pace was good? What you think about the pace? I think the pace was kind of slow. Like I said, I think Pence is very boring, very, very boring. He tried his best. He tried his best, I guess. All right. Sent you another link, so try that, Bryant. If that doesn't work, then I don't know. I have no clue, my brother. All right, so got you there. All right. Okay, you said Trump is a 33rd degree Mason. Okay. All right, let me get Brian in here. He's in the studio. Let me go and get him. All right. What's up, man?
Yeah, what's up?
Chilling. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, I always give you a hand if I can.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. So I got a rundown right here. I'm gonna read off. Took some notes. Gonna read off what happened. You watched the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I watched the.
All right, good. So I'll give a rundown. Then you give your take on everything that was happening. All right. So let's get down to business. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. An exchange about Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And it crystallizes the candidates, opposing views, and they had opposing views on racial justice. So what do you think about, the continuing, Breonna Taylor case, George Floyd, and social justice that they talked about? What's your view?
It's definitely something that needs to be talked about. There definitely needs to be something done with our justice system. And honestly, Pence's answer is what I expected when he said he trusts the justice system. He trusts our system. I expected him to say that.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds typical. I trust our system. But the system is broken. Whether or not there's something that we don't know about what happened with Breonna Taylor, at the end of the day, the system is still broken, and something has to change with how these things are done, because it just didn't seem right that none of these officers were indicted. There was no court case, nobody was arrested, nothing, and just nothing seems right. And if they know something we don't know, then tell us, but they're not telling us.
Right.
And for whatever reason they're not telling us is I can't explain that. So
Right. And I just want to keep the comments going. Brittany Moxley says, my heart inclines to the right per Ecclesiastes 10:2, but Pence was a bit down tonight. That's what they were even saying that on MSNBC. They were saying that he looked like he was like a little, like something was wrong. But then she says, I see that he was under the weather. The pace was slow, but the presidential debate was like watching the Ringling Brothers. I definitely agree with that.
All the way.
Just like I said last time, the presidential debate was like watching a child argue with an adult. That's how I saw it. Some people might not agree with that, but that's how that really was. It was a little kid arguing with an adult. So
yeah, there was arguing going on, but it seemed kind of childish. I mean, you got to give everyone their 2 minutes, to speak, and if you have something to say it after they get their point across. But Trump was just making it so like, hey, the minute you say something I don't like it, I'm gonna attack you immediately. Like, I'm not even gonna let you finish. Like, you can't say that in front of me and get away with that. I'm not gonna wait until the question is over. It sounds like a New Yorker. I mean, he is from New York, so the man was born in a Jamaica hospital, so he has that New York vibe. Like, no, you're not gonna talk to me about even tonight. Pence interrupted once or twice, but it was a little more organized. I feel like if Pence would have talked a little faster, his point might have gone across within the 2 minutes. It seemed like he was almost reading off of a prompter. Like, he was, everything he had to say is like, say my sentence, pause for a while, say my next sentence, pause. Like, take it in for 2 seconds, wait, now take that next thing in for 2 seconds. Like, hey, you gotta speak. Say it fast. It's not like he was kind of, thinking about what he had to say next a couple of times. which slowed him down a little bit. Then of course, one of my favorite parts is when the moderator kept saying, "Thank you, Mr. Pence. Thank you, Vice President Pence." Over and over. I was like, "Yeah, he's gonna keep going until he gets his whole point across." I was just laughing at that.
Yeah, exactly, man. This guy was just like, there was a couple times Kamala was looking at him like, if you interrupt me again, I'm gonna slap you.
But then, of course, whether you're a fan of hers or not, if she did, react a certain way on stage, then here comes that typical, that typical stereotype. Maybe, well, there comes the black woman acting up on stage,
Yeah,
even though he's interrupted her. Like, here we go again. That's why you can't have them in office. Like, this, she conducted herself well, in my opinion. She conducted, and
yeah, she
even
did.
though Mike Pence went over his 2 minutes a couple of times, and I saw a lot of people on Facebook saying, "Won't they shut his mic off? He won't stop talking." But there was a couple of times she did it also, and nobody was really saying let's shut her mic off. Well, because the country is pretty well. Most of the country that I know of is pretty much this is where they stand. They want Pence and Trump out. So it don't matter what you have to say. You
Yeah,
be quiet. Let's hear the next person.
right, exactly,
Like, she can speak all she want. The rest of y'all need to be quiet. Is the vibe I got all over my Facebook feed all night.
Exactly. All right, so let's go to the next point. Um, let's see. All right, so Pence accuses Harris of wanting to pack the Supreme Court, while Harris says the next president should fill the open seat. So we know that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, her dying wish was to allow whoever wins the presidential election in 2020, let that person be the person to pick the next president. But
Mm-hmm.
Trump, of course, is like, no, I'm going to just do it now. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, what are my thoughts on Trump doing it right now? Or
Yeah. Basically, on him not waiting, because it's on the record that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, it was her dying wish that the next president would replace her. But Donald Trump is trying to replace her now before he even wins the election. And that's
that's because Trump is confident. The man is confident he's gonna be in office. Like, I'm not gonna wait. And
right.
maybe he has a backup plan. He's like, well, just in case I'm not in office, let me get my pick in there already. Just like, you know what, this is who I want in there. This person's gonna be in there. So he's confident, in my opinion. And plus, he don't care about her dying wish. He does not care about her dying wish. He's like, man, she passed away. But we got to do something. So I'm gonna put the next person in. He don't care about dying wish. Like, only dying wish he cares about is his own.
Right.
And we'll never know what that is until that time comes. So he don't care about hers.
Yeah.
So for him to put someone in the seat now, hey, he's gonna do what he wants. He's like, I'm the president. Come on, you see what he does when he goes and meets up with other world leaders. He pushes his way to the front.
Right. Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that though. It's like, move America first. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's like, no. I'm not gonna move. I'm up here, and they be looking at him like, dude, why you pushing? He's like, yeah, relax.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So we have two comments from Brittany Moxley. So she says Trump was debating against Chris Wallace and Biden. That wasn't fair. Trump has been under attack since before he was president. Who wouldn't be on the defense? Was he petty? Absolutely. He's human. You don't have to be like him, or nor do you have to agree with him, but you do have to pray for him and respect his leadership per scripture. And I agree with that. I agree. We should pray for him that we don't want to wish death on anybody, sickness or death. But that doesn't mean we need to vote for him. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. I'm not a Trump supporter. So I'm not voting for him. But for those that are Trump supporters, go ahead, do what you got to do. And then she also says, Jesus said, "Let the dead bury their own." The dead is unconscious and knows nothing. So I guess that means that since Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead, that it doesn't matter what her dying wish is. That am I correct? Is that what you're saying, Brittany Moxley?
That's what it sounds like in my opinion.
Okay, what do you think about that?
The first comment, she's absolutely correct. She's absolutely right. It's I do feel at sometimes in that first debate, Trump was going against not just one but two people, because even though like once or twice Biden has said something or did something, it kind of seemed like the moderator was mostly going after Trump. But then you look at Trump, who's just speaking away. You're not giving the 2 minutes, which is what both parties agreed on. Like, we're gonna have 2 minutes to say what we want, and when it's time to move on. But and yeah, it was definitely petty. But the man's like, you're not gonna speak over me. You're not gonna say something, and I'm not. He's just that guy. Like, I am not gonna wait for you to get your point, because once your 2 minutes is up, we're gonna move on to the next question. I'm gonna address it right now while you're in the middle of it. Which, like I said, that sounds like a New Yorker or a businessman, or somebody who's just like, no, you're just not gonna talk to me this way. And what was the other thing she said also in there?
The other thing she said about Ruth Bader Ginsburg and her dying wish. She says that I'm not saying that Trump is the. No, I'm sorry. That's her new.
It was in the first first comment.
Oh,
not this one. The other one.
Oh, you're talking about this one? Oh, okay. You don't have to. You don't have to agree with him, but you do have to pray for him and respect his leadership per scripture.
Okay. Yeah. That's if you're a Christian, yes, you have to pray. You gotta pray for your leaders. It's in the scripture.
Right.
You can't take out part of the scripture because of person you don't like. You either follow it or you don't. And also right here where she says, who wouldn't be on the defense? Everybody would. Right. It's just you look at a professional debate and you would think to yourself, okay, everyone's gonna be civil, but the kind of person he is, you say something, he goes on the defense. I've done it. I've been on the defense numerous. I'm married. Aren't you married? I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm looking at you. I am. Have you gone on the defense? As your wife says something and you just get defensive, there's numerous times my wife has said something to me. I'm like, okay, I'm not even gonna let her get up on it. Okay, let me say what I have to say before you. And it's bad, but I'm just saying, anybody would be on the defense. Okay. So,
exactly.
I've seen pastors fight one another, so I don't expect these politicians to act any less human than anyone else. But it's just you just expect it though because of these debates.
Right.
It's on CNN, ABC, Fox. These are major networks. You want everyone to be all professional and stiff and uptight. But this is the first time I saw a debate where it wasn't completely civil.
Yeah.
It was because remember when Mitt Romney, I'm always gonna bring this up. That first debate against Obama and Mitt Romney went after Obama. Obama didn't say nothing, just kept his mouth shut. And he tore him a new one. Like, everyone said Mitt Romney won that first debate. So Trump wasn't going to let that happen. He wasn't going to let that happen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Next part.
exactly. And then she also said that as far as her comment on the dead, knowing nothing,
Hmm.
she was just saying, I'm saying that Trump is the commander in chief, and he has the right to replace her, whether she wanted it or not, which is true. Yes, yes, he's the president. He can do what he wants. It just to me shows that he has his own agenda, and it doesn't show respect. You know, in my opinion, where's the
Hmm.
respect? She was a very respectful person. She fought for women's rights. The fact that a woman can even go out and work in the workforce right next to men, it was because of her. Her sacrifice. So, but of course, Trump is not going to think about that because he doesn't respect women. So, and that's just my opinion, or that could be a fact depending on, everything that we've seen with Donald Trump throughout these last 4 years.
Hmm.
All right, so let's go on. Let's move on. And we're gonna get to the third person in the debate tonight. But well, not person, but the third thing of the debate. But we'll get to that last. So also, Pence claims not to know how Barrett would rule on abortion, and misrepresents Harris's position on Roe versus Wade. So we know that Barrett is going to be the new, that she's going to be replacing Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and we also know that she has said that she's going to overturn Roe versus Wade, that she is pro-life, and then she's totally against abortion. What are your thoughts on a woman's right to control their body?
Every woman has. This is my opinion. Every woman has the right to choose what you want to do with your body. You know, it's. I think I overheard you speaking about it with who was the other pastor you had on the other day? I forgot his name. Just that quick, but I've heard him speak.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. You're talking about David Wright.
yeah, Pastor David Wright. I watched the two of you speak, and I think it was you that made the point. If a woman is raped and she's pregnant, by her rapist, should she be forced to keep that baby? She shouldn't be forced. Um,
Absolutely.
my only thing is I'm not a fan of abortion. I'm really not. But I don't believe in putting a law saying you have to keep it. Like it's your choice. That's why we were given free will in the first place to make these decisions. And if they take abortion out, somebody's still going to do it. They'll just be doing it in a basement somewhere, under the table somewhere.
That's
It's,
exactly
it's,
what I
it's
said.
going to be done.
That's what I said on Sunday. Yep. It's gonna be done. It'll be more dangerous, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be done. And then I'm wondering, are they gonna put something in place where if you get caught, that you'll either serve jail time, where they consider it murder, all these type of things. But it's so true. You know what I'm saying? If someone gets, a woman gets raped, I'll ask you about Brittany Moxley. If a woman got raped, if you had a daughter, or even you, I'll ask you to you, Brittany Moxley, you're a woman, you're married, you have your husband. A man takes advantage of you, drugs you, whatever, and you get pregnant, and you feel like, hey, every time I look at this baby, I'm gonna think about this person that abused me. If you feel like you don't want to keep that baby, it's okay. It's not. I don't feel like it's the end of the world. I feel like God would know your heart. Some people will say, well, God won't put more on us than we can bear, but it's still your right. Whether you want to say biblical scripture or not, it's your right. It's your body.
It
That's
is.
my stance.
It is a woman's right, but I well, basically what I was going to say is like I I always tell people this that Satan doesn't make babies. If you want to go scripture, Satan don't make babies. God makes babies. God put us here. Babies are, regardless of the fact, babies are a gift, and
Yes.
but at the end of the day, it's still a woman's right to choose what she wants to do with that baby. And I think Leslie Jones made the joke on SNL a couple of years ago. She said, "No old, like something like no old white men, sitting in a room, can dictate what I do with my body." And she made a good point with that. Like these men are just sitting around. They just say, you know what? Every woman here is not to have an abortion. You are to keep the baby. End of story.
Right, exactly. Also, Brittany says, I have no right, and she's answering my question. She says that she has no right to murder a life God created. That's a carnal mind. Okay, definitely understand that. It would be murder if you, because if God allowed it to happen, because God has the power to say, okay, if you got raped, that you don't have to get pregnant, He can stop it. So if that baby is born, then maybe there is a plan for that baby's life. But all I'm trying to say is, and what most people are trying to say is, it's still that person's right. Everybody's not going to think like me or you or Brian or anybody else. Everybody has their own thinking. You have people that might not believe in God, or that might not, they have their own beliefs. The bottom line is, it's your right regardless. Whether it's right or wrong, it is your right to do. You understand what I'm saying? It's your right. Now, men don't give birth, so men don't really have these rights. You know what I'm saying? Men don't have rights like that to tell a woman, you better get rid of that baby, because the woman is the one that has to do the childbirth. So that's the whole point in keeping, the pro-life versus, being pro-life versus being not pro-life. It's your choice, because it's your body, regardless. And we have to get that through our heads. It doesn't matter what the scripture says. And don't get me wrong, it matters what the scripture says, but in a woman's mind, that's not about the scripture. That's what she don't care about the scripture. She cares about, can I even afford to take care of this baby? Right now, I'm watching a show on Hulu. Very good show. I recommend people to watch it. It's called Little Fires Everywhere. It's with Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington. Very good show. First season, I'm like up to episode 4 now. But the show is basically a white privileged family is there, and they're talking about, okay, so white privileged family, Reese Witherspoon, Kerry Washington is a single mother. She's a single mother that doesn't have a lot of money. Right now, they're in a part of the show where you have a Chinese woman that gave birth to a child, and she could not take care of that baby. Her lights got turned out. She had no money. It was dead of winter. She decided to give that baby up because she could not do anything with that baby. It was her choice. She didn't kill the baby, but she gave the baby up. But imagine if, she had decided, okay, I don't have any money. I'm going to get the abortion. It's still her choice. Anthony Jones, what's up, Anthony, man? He says, what if the father wants the woman to have the baby? I would say that if the woman doesn't want, the baby, but the father wants the baby, then they either need to have an agreement signed, sealed, that, okay, you have the baby and the father will take care of the baby solely. If the mother, can give up her rights, I think that's happened where mothers have given up their rights. A lot of times, single mothers, they'll give up their rights to their parents, and the grandparents will raise the baby. Plenty of shows and movies have been about that same topic. So, that's what I would say. What do you think, Brittany? Brittany also says, what did she say? Oh, sorry. Let me go back to Anthony. He says, look up the Roe versus Wade case, and you will understand the law. The law is being misused. Absolutely. Of course it is. And also, Brittany says, exactly, men should have the say as well. Yeah, I believe so. If a father, if he wants to keep that baby, then he has the right to say he wants to keep it. But at the end of the day, it's the woman that still has to do it. That's just what I feel. What do you think?
Yeah. If the father says no, you keep the baby, she can just, for the time being, just say, fine, I'll keep it, and then just go out and do it on her own. Which actually, I know that actually happened to a friend of mine. He got his girlfriend pregnant, and he just told her straight up, flat out from the jump. He was like, "I want you to keep the baby. Don't even think about getting an abortion or anything." And but she lied, and she lied to him and told him she had a miscarriage. But when he was cleaning up, he saw documents from an abortion that was done. So
Wow.
that pissed him off. So at the end, but like you said, at the end of the day, it's their right. It's the woman's right because it's her body. It's what's in her.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah, that's sad. That's sad. So Brittany Moxley says, what else she says? Okay, she says, Anthony says the law should be fixed and torn and toned. And then Brittany says, then wrap it up or abstain. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that'll help. Wear a condom, use protection, practice safe sex. Cause even if no one get pregnant, you don't want to get no disease, and I don't sidebar. Like, okay, you and I are married, so we're not like,
I
out
don't even know
there.
if they still make those things. She talking to the wrong people here because me.
Yeah, but yeah. All right, but this is the thing, right?
Uh,
In a pandemic now, I don't even know if it's even like, should you even be like just having casual sex with people? Because, what I'm saying, do you have to take a corona test first? Did you have a temperature thing? I don't know what the single people are doing right now, but it's kind of crazy. Like,
them single people take an STD test before they did it,
they didn't, but
or
now,
HIV test before they did it.
no, but right now, that there is actual there's a virus that's actually going on.
Yeah.
Brittany said she's been married 15 years. Please.
Oh man, 15 years. Oh man, I can't wait to say I've been married for 5. I only been married for 3. I'm still counting down to 5. Like, 5 years. 15. Oh. How long you been married, right?
I've been married 13 years.
Oh man, I'm a baby. I'm a baby in this game. This is still all kind of new to me right now. Oh man, I just lost train of thought. Oh, you want to talk about But can you imagine like going to somebody's house? You're in that mood and you pull out a long Q-tip and say, wait, babe, before we do this, I need you to stick this up your nose real quick, just real quick, all right? And let's just nobody's doing that. It's like some people, like when this whole thing started, I saw a couple of people saying like on Facebook, like they miss their boyfriends or they miss their fiancés, like they want to, hurry up and they can't wait until they can go see them again. And I mean, I was kind of like, why? Okay, I would just go. That's just me. It might sound crazy, but
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna go if it's like that. We're just gonna hang somehow.
Brittany Moxley says, "Y'all lost me with the Q-tip." and then Anthony says that he has 5 kids and he takes care of all of them. It was difficult, but we did it. My kids range from 18 to 29, and he's also been married 22 years. Woo. That's crazy.
All y'all chump me. Y'all got kids way older than my son. My son's only 5.
Well, one day he's gonna get there,
Yeah, I got a long way to go before I start saying, my kid is 18. Got a long way to go.
Yep. All right. So I want to move right along so we don't keep these people up all night watching this. All right. So also, let's see what I wanted to say. Okay. They are coming for you. Kamala Harris says for the Trump and Pence attacks on the Affordable Care Act. All right. So, we know that, Donald Trump has been trying to shut down Obamacare for the longest, and he's doing away with it. So she basically said, hey, for that child that has to be on their parents' insurance. What about like you? Okay, you and your wife are employed. You have your own insurance. I have
Mm-hmm.
my wife and I have our own insurance. But for those families that don't have their own insurance and they have a child that's your son's age, Affordable Care Act is gone. They're out in the dust. What are they supposed to do for that older woman, that older man that have pre-existing conditions? They're not working. They're looking for
Yeah.
that Affordable Care Act to help them. So, she's saying, hey, you elect them and he's coming for you.
That's a tough one because I didn't like when Obamacare came into play. I don't know how other people feel, but I personally did not like when Obamacare showed up. I honestly, I can't really, I don't really have an opinion on that one too tough because,
Yeah.
It's all I can say is like when Obamacare was mentioned, and even when you mentioned just now, Trump wants to do away with it. I really don't know what Trump's next plan would be. Hopefully, we still have some kind of health care out there. But all I know is one thing I did not like about healthcare when Obama was in office was it just seemed like all of a sudden, uh, if you didn't work or had healthcare, you had to go through Obamacare. Okay, fine. But it felt like when Obamacare showed up, everyone else's healthcare got messed up. In my opinion, like I had to. Yeah, I actually heard say it was very expensive, and I noticed when I started working for Delta, and I did healthcare there. They gave us a list. Do you want this, this, or this? Do you want to pay a lot? You want to pay minimum, or do you not want it at all? You clicked which one you wanted. You hit enter. That was it. Done. And you had it for the year. And you did that every year. Then all of a sudden, when Obamacare rolled in, it became, oh, but you can have this or this, and we're gonna tweak it a little bit. So I was reading this stuff, and I'm like, I'm not understanding what it like. So which one is full coverage? Well, this one is full coverage. However, you do have to come out of pocket after you reach a certain amount. Like it was too much was going on, and then all of a sudden too, I did my taxes numerous times. I don't know when all of a sudden I had to prove I had health care just to go do my taxes.
Right.
If you don't show that you have health care, they charge you $1,000. IRS, I believe it's the IRS. They charge you $1,000 if you don't have health care. And you go in there with it. It's like, I'm fixing my sweater and I'm all over the place with it. But it's I got confused with Obamacare. So whenever she's saying about Trump, that's just one of those things where I'll be like, we got to see what happens because all I know is I didn't like Obamacare.
Yeah. Brittany says, I believe the blueprints were great, but the execution was horrible, which resulted in horrible results. Yeah. I mean, but Obama is not perfect. Not perfect by any means. Even the people
Even he said the website was horrible.
Yeah.
He even.
So, I mean, maybe it would have been better if Obama could have had an extra 4 years to really set things straight. But, that's not how it works. So, it came and gone.
Didn't you do Obamacare in the first term?
I believe.
Was that the first time?
I don't remember. I actually don't remember. Anybody know in the comments?
Because if it was the first term, then he got his extra 4 years. And it's still.
I'm not sure if he actually did it in the very, very beginning, but if anybody knows in the comments, and we'll do some checking, just to see. But let's move on. Real quick, I just want to make sure everybody gets their fair turn in the comments. Anthony says only if the woman has health issues. Read Roe versus Wade. And also, Brittany was also saying, what did she say? It was a book that she was talking about. Okay. Oh, she said that was expensive.
Yeah, we did that one.
Oh, she said, please watch the documentary Uncle Tom that came out this year on Juneteenth. All right, so let's yeah, I will definitely do that. I'll definitely
She
check
know
that out, Uncle Tom.
can
And
she tell us where it is? Is it Netflix or something?
yeah. Do you know where it is, Brittany? Where we could find that movie? You know, we can Google it too, but if you know
If not,
exactly
I
where it is,
either Google it or probably do
yeah,
my usual downloading.
yeah.
I do the download. The heart be like, really? All right. Where is
Yeah.
it?
So, all right. So I want to move on real quick. So, Mike Pence blames China for the coronavirus, and uh, Harris blames Trump for the Chinese trade war. What are your thoughts?
That trade war has been talked about for so long. That's Trump was talking about that before he even came into office about that trade war. But then people started talking about how he had some of his product made over there in China. But there's a lot of things. Oh yeah, free downloads. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's not stealing. If it's out there for you to watch, it ain't stealing. You just gotta find it. That's all. That's all. So um, now, as far as Pence blaming China, at the end of the day, we don't really know where this thing came from.
Right.
You and I don't. We just know what we're told on TV.
Yeah, because they say
And
too
I
much.
believe we was told a lot of stuff on TV that's not correct. A lot of people have started hating each other because one person looks at this thing another way, and the next person said, "Well, that's not what they're saying on the news." Like, do you watch the news? And some people say, "Well, that's why you're afraid because you're watching the news." And they're saying it came from China. Then they're saying it came from a bat. There's actually a woman right now from China. I think she escaped. It's what somebody was telling me. But she's from China, and she's saying that the virus was made in a lab over there. It's a virus that does exist, but it only affected. I think she said it only affected animals, but now they mutated it. They enhanced it to now where it affects humans, and now you can't even find that video online because now everything is censorship. They're even if it's real or not,
Yeah.
they're not letting you see stuff like that at all anymore. Back in the day, if it was fake or real, it was up to you to decide for yourself. Now they're censoring everything for you. They're deciding for you whether or not you should look at this or not, which I don't agree with. But there's a couple of people, not just her, who said that this came from China. I just look at some other things too, where initially we were told that it started from a bat. And television tells you what's going to happen. I know a lot of people talked about it because it explained it perfectly from the beginning of everything that was going on from the very beginning. That movie, did you see that movie Contagion?
I don't remember actually seeing the movie Contagious. I remember seeing Containment, a show on Netflix called Containment, and
Yeah.
and that movie been out a long time, but because of the coronavirus, it has actually moved it back up into the,
Yeah.
into the higher search on Netflix.
Everybody
I
started
haven't seen
watching it again.
Contagion.
I actually watched it for the first time back in like March, April. And I was like, this is actually a good show. But
Do me a favor. Sorry, can you hear this music? I'm just curious.
oh yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, I'm just curious. Okay, continue.
Yeah. But no, Contagion basically is everything that's going on right now. But they described it in perfect sense what's happening. The movie started off with a woman at a bar. She looked like she was sick. And then when she went to pay for her meal at the bar or her drinks or whatever, she handed the woman her credit card. So now the woman has a credit card. So now whatever germ she got, it was on the credit card. Now it's in this woman's hands, and she touching all over the thing, typing in. Then actually, the next person goes and types this stuff in. So the movie went on with people getting this wild fever, dying suddenly. Nobody knows what it is that they're dying from. Lawrence Fishburne was in it, and he was one of the health experts, and he used the words, social distancing. And this is a movie that came out, I think, in 2013, I believe.
Okay.
I think is when it came out. He said, what we need to do is, we need to stay a couple of feet away from each other. We need to do social distancing. And all of a sudden, when this happens, it's social distancing. And then also, at the end of the movie, they basically showed us how everything started. And it literally started from a bat. And this was in a movie. A bat started this contagious disease in a movie. Family Guy did it also. There's an episode of Family Guy where Peter was trying to kill a bat in his house, and somehow it kind of didn't really make sense as to where the story went, but it started off with a bat, and then all of a sudden Stewie got sick. They didn't want to give him a vaccination, and the whole town had to go into quarantine. Right. Because all the parents realized, well, if they're not going to vaccinate their kid, I'm not going to vaccinate mine. So now everyone in the town was sick, and they were under quarantine. So the town was dead. Stuff was boiled up. And it started, though, the episode started with a bat. So when they said coronavirus starts, if somebody has some bat soup, the first thing I went to was Contagion. I said, wait, wasn't that in a movie? Went to Contagion. Bat at the end of the movie. It's a bat. Okay. Basically a bat died, a pig ate the bat. They took the pig, slaughtered it. The dude cleaned the pig with bare hands, all in the mouth and everything. And then he shook someone's hand, like another health expert or something, shook that person's hand, and now the virus started spreading because they shook hands. So now, notice none of us were shaking hands.
Yep.
We're not shaking hands. So like we don't know where this thing came from, but just some stuff just doesn't add up to me.
Yep.
And if they said it came from China, that's what they're going to keep telling us. It came from China. We don't know where it came. We don't.
But Donald Trump's not going to stop saying that.
No.
So this is the last. Well, we have two more points. I want to get to this, and then we'll get to the funny stuff. So Kamala Harris calls Trump's virus response the greatest failure to any presidential administration, because we know that Donald Trump knew, about this virus. And if you're still on, Brittany, I'd like you to chime in also. Donald Trump knew about the virus. He knew how serious it was. And we didn't find out until the tape, was actually played, that when he talked to the journalist, I forgot his name, but, with having that interview, that he didn't want to cause a panic. The panic, in my opinion, was already caused because people were literally, and I know you remember this, like hoarding toilet paper. Like, why? I don't understand why toilet paper, though. Like, there was plenty of food to go around. But I guess maybe if it's a natural disaster, that's when you get food. But if it's like a pandemic, you want to make sure that you can wipe your butt. Yeah, I guess. I just don't understand why everybody bought all this toilet paper.
Couldn't you use a rag?
You could take a shower. Yeah. I'm like,
if you really have to wipe your butt, okay. I've been there where there was no toilet tissue in the house once. I was like, oh man,
gotta hop in the shower, right? Yeah. Right away.
Get in that shower. Or if I don't get in the shower, it's like, let me get my rag, douse it, make sure it's get my wipe on. I don't understand where people got the toilet tissue and the paper towels. Like now we can't forget about eating. I can't even dry my hands or wipe up a stain on my countertop now. But I could eat these canned goods because there was plenty of that laying around. There was plenty
of a lot of stuff. I would go to the supermarket, the meat and everything would be full, but you can't find bleach, you can't find toilet paper, you can't find paper towel, you can't find baby wipes. It was just crazy. And now they have all of this hand sanitizer. I've never seen so many different brands of hand sanitizer in my life, and I've tried some of them. I went to Home Depot,
Yeah.
and they had some bootleg hand sanitizer. It was like really liquid. It was like okay,
Yeah.
so you see, like this Suave hand sanitizer is like
Uh-huh.
thick. This is the good kind. This is what I like. The one that
Yeah.
I found, the one that they had at Home Depot came in a spray bottle, and it just was like kind of greasy or oil. Like it had an oily thing to it. I was like, oh my god.
Kind of like this one. What,
Yeah. I'm like,
what brand is this? I ain't
yeah.
never.
I think that might. Well, I don't think that was it, but it came in something like that I got from Home Depot. I was like, this is the worst hand sanitizer ever. I don't like that.
Yeah, and then I'm shaking it up, and I'm hearing it like, like this. Yeah, there's so many different brands now. The regular hand sanitizer that we used all these years, I don't even see it in Walmart like that anymore. Just this off-brand stuff, which like what happened to the main stuff? They just stopped making it for now. They say and I heard some of this off-brand stuff isn't that good for you, is what I'm hearing.
Right.
So
yeah, it's not. I want to go back to Brittany real quick. She has a couple things to say. So she says China is to blame. China is to blame for China. I find the irony that everything being blamed, everything being Trump's fault when he's only been in politics for 4 years. Then she says the mainstream media is full of deception. The movie describes COVID-19 to the T. I guess they're talking about the movie you were talking about.
Yep.
And then she says, I believe he reacted appropriately. China lied to the U.S. COVID-19 is overestimated. Many pandemics have been worse. The flu alone is worse. And then she also says, prophetically speaking, the way COVID-19 shook the population up, they aren't ready for what's to come in the future or near future.
No, I have actually spoken to a lot of my friends who are heavy into church, and I see them on Facebook with full of fear, and I'm like, you don't actually see what this actually kind of looks like, though. Like what this looks like. This is a preparation, because they're gonna try to force a vaccine. Whether they're gonna do it or not is one thing, but in the future something else is going to be forced, and you're going to have a choice at that point, yes or no. There is no maybe so. All this stuff about us saying I'm not taking it, well, then when that time comes, hopefully none of us are here, but that time comes, it's like, well, I'm not taking it. I'll see you on the other side, brother. That's it. Like,
yeah.
I'll see you. I'll see you later. Oh, there's speaking of deception, and movies being a deception. There's one more movie I watched it the other day. This movie came out in the 70s called Soylent Green, and I told a couple of people to watch it before. But long story short, with this movie came out in the 70s. But it takes place in the year either 2020 or 2022. Somewhere around there, this movie takes place. And a pandemic happened. It already happened. Okay, so the movie starts off with everything going down, and then there's a food shortage. Right. So now for you to get your food, there's a company that makes food for you. You have to go pick it up by the army or whatever it is. You have to go pick this food up. This is what you eat. Meat doesn't exist anymore. So if you find meat, like in the movie, the guy found somebody stored meat somewhere and he ate it with his friend, and it was like heaven because they haven't had meat in years.
Yeah.
Okay. But towards the end of the movie, his friend, he was an older guy, and I guess he found out what was really going on in the movie. He decided to end his life with an assisted suicide. That has been talked about before. It hasn't made mainstream news yet. Like, well, it has been on the news, but it's not something that's talked about a lot. But I've heard and read articles about maybe giving people an option to just kill themselves slow. Just do a slow suicide and we will help you. But come to find out, long story short, I'm trying to make it quick. The man found out that the food that they were eating was made out of people.
Oh my God! You talking about the meat?
It wasn't even meat that they were eating. It was like
the non-meat. Okay.
Yeah, but it was non-meat. They said it was organic food. Soylent Green, basically soy products, or Okay, so basically we're in 2020 now. Okay, there's this new thing, and celebrities are pushing it too, called Impossible Meat. Okay,
like the Impossible Burger and all that.
It tastes just like meat, but it's not meat. Well, what is it? Oh, it's made from plants. Well, how did you make it? I'm like, well, it was made in the lab. I don't know how they do it, but when I hear that it's made from plants or something, I should be driving down the street and see a couple of leaves or something and be like, oh, this will make a delicious burger. I don't know how they do it, but in this movie they said this meat was made. This Soylent Green food, this soy product, this Impossible Meat, whatever it's called, was made from people. Okay. And there have been talks of certain restaurants, and unfortunately, one of my favorite ones growing up, I heard, I'm gonna send it to you if I can find it again. Okay. But years ago, some guy said that places like McDonald's, it's not just cow, it's people. He admitted that. This is years ago. And who's to say that it's not going on now? Like, remember all those bodies with this corona thing? Where did they go? They said they burned them. I don't know. Do we really have proof of that? I saw some pictures, but who knows? I'm not trying to sound crazy, but I just look at how movies tell us what's going on here, and then I'm looking at, well, we're in the year 2020. Yeah, water was having an issue. Foods, but they're shutting down the meat industry slowly right now as we speak.
Right.
This is stuff that's going on for real. Like, this is actually a topic you could talk about another day, and how Hollywood just tells you, yeah, by the way, this is what's going to happen because we planned it this way. Exactly. And how ironic this movie took place in 2022. We're in 2020 right now. Exactly. I know people call me crazy. That's cool. Exactly. Call me crazy. I don't care. I look at movies, and if it's happening, then hey.
Good night, Brittany. Thank you so much for joining us. She had to go, so she did have a couple other comments. She said, "God is separating the wheat from the tare. Jesus is on his way. This is conditioning for the mark of the beast, and also there is going to be a food shortage for real. So stock up now." Word of prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I've been talking to my family about us. We gotta start. We have a lot of cans and stuff already, but I want to get as much as possible, as much canned goods. But I don't want to get that's like crazy stuff that canned goods. I want to get stuff that's nutritious. Like a lot of the canned vegetables.
Yeah,
plenty of that. Because you can still live on that. A lot of canned vegetables and even the ramen noodles. You can get a lot of that. Because, I know when I was younger, I lived on that kind of stuff. So,
I definitely did.
Yeah. So, as long as you got that, got some water, you can definitely, we'll be all right for the time being. So, last thing, before we get out of here, the highlight of the night, man. Highlight of the night. They say 2 minutes. I thought it was like 5 minutes. A fly sits on top of Mike Pence's head, and he steals the show. When I saw this, I thought it was on my screen.
I think a lot of us did that. That's the crazy part now of having HD TV or 4K TV. That fly looked, and there was a fly at my house earlier. I don't know if my wife killed it or not. I stepped out, but you see this fly on my man's head. It's like,
and he was not moving. There was he couldn't even feel that. Somebody was saying that that must be a toupee. because it must have said it be fake because he can't feel it. And then
Listen, you feel when a fly lands on your arm. This sweater sticks. Sometimes I even notice if a fly lands on this, or it's like, you know, that thing landed on his head, and he just kept right on talking. He was moving his head and everything, and that fly was so still. The fly didn't even rub his hands together. Like it didn't
yeah,
even.
yeah.
It just sat there.
And there's somebody on social media. I was scrolling. They were like, "Oh, okay, a fly sitting on a pile of crap because flies they sit on crap." So
Yeah,
it was like symbolic. You know, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is funny." So Jimmy Fallon and all them guys, Conan, all of them, they're gonna have a good time with this, man.
yeah.
I actually
They're,
can't wait for Saturday Night Live to have a fake flag be on Pence
they're
head.
they're definitely. First of all, I want to know who's gonna play Mike Pence.
Yeah.
You already know who's gonna be Kamala Harris. That's gonna be Maya Rudolph. I love Maya Rudolph. She's like one of my. I love her. But yeah, whoever plays Mike Pence, they're gonna have to have a fly and make it big.
Yeah, it has
That's
to be. Yeah, it has to be some big fly. Yeah,
make it like ridiculously big.
yeah, it's gonna be really big, and he's not gonna notice, right? He's just gonna keep going.
They might even mention it like, Mr. Pence, there's a fly on your head. Okay, but Trump wants to lower taxes.
Yeah,
You're not
that's
going to get
gonna
that
be
fly.
funny.
The fly is not going to lower taxes, is it? It's something SNL is they're just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be funny. All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We had some good conversation. We did a rundown. I skipped some stuff, but we had a good rundown. Yesterday we did have the Vote 2020, the first episode where I talked about the battleground states. Just so people could get an idea of what the battleground states are. If you missed that episode, check it out on Facebook.com/Black News Undisputed. YouTube.com/Black News Undisputed. You can also, check the replay on my personal page right here, Andre Jaho. I think most of the people that are watching on here. I decided to start just streaming straight to my personal page too. For the people that might not be following Black News Undisputed, but follow Black News Undisputed. Brian, thanks, man, for coming on, and it's always good when I can do these kind of shows, talking to you, to get your point across, versus just me talking to the camera. So thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And next Tuesday, we have Mariella that will be joining us for the Vote 2020, and Pastor Robert Ferrer, where we'll be talking the vote, the importance of voting. They'll be giving their viewpoints on voting. I know Mariella Perez, she is a poll. She'll be working at the polls. She's done it, volunteered at the polls multiple times. So she's going to give her viewpoint on that. And then Pastor Robert Ferrer will be joining us also. We'll be having a chat on the Vote 2020 next week, this coming Tuesday, actually, at 8 p.m. All right, guys? So thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you on Sunday, where we have our Sunday Night Power Charge, and we will have Lady Genesis that will come on, and we'll be talking about being beautiful and single in 2020. All right. So thanks again, Brian. Appreciate it, man. And we'll see you next time on the Vote 2020. And I don't know if it's next week or the week after next that we'll be having the next presidential debate. I'm not sure how that's going to work since Trump is
It's next week.
Yeah, since Trump is infected still. I don't know if they're going to do it like a video thing. I think they should. But, we'll see how they do it. And we'll be back on here.
That might not work.
Yeah, it's gonna be way harder to control Trump, or anybody, if they're actually not there. But we'll see how they do it. Maybe they have to put like a whole glass bubble around Trump. So we'll see, guys. Thank you, everybody. Brittany, thank you so much. J Love Toys, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us tonight on this broadcast. All right. Thank you so much, Brittany. Thank you so much, Anthony, and anybody else that was watching that did not leave a comment. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you Sunday for Power Charge, and then we'll see you on Tuesday for the Vote 2020. All right, guys? All right, remember, no justice, no peace. Good night, folks.